Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Solana. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have our higher time frame video up above, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the video and see what's going on. Okay, so of our higher degree counts, we're looking at two things here. So we're looking for the potential that this could actually be looking for a bigger ABC pattern to the upside, in which case what we're looking for is potentially to come up towards this 1-to-1. Now we need to be careful because we have actually come up past the 0.618 area, which is a minimum requirement. Now if this is just a corrective move to the upside, this could actually then align with actually seeing price looking to move to the downside after this move, where what we would say here is that we still have this as a potential three-wave move to the upside here, followed by a continuation to the downside. So we need to be very careful of this idea that we could still see another C wave to the downside. Now the bullish case here would be that actually we have a low in place already, and what we are looking for is the potential that instead of this being A, B, and C, what we're going to see is the potential move up towards this zone of this 1618 here at this $91, where this becomes a third wave. Now what I'd want to see here is effectively have this as 1, 2. We need to form another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the upside here, looking for this 1618 target. Now if we did see a move up into this 1618 area, this could potentially mean that we see a 5-wave structure looking to push up towards this 183 to this 137 if we do not have further extension within the waves. Okay, so we're going to dive into the smaller time frame count here and see what is going on. So looking at this move to the upside, in the previous video, one of the things we were discussing there was that we could have this as 1, 2, this is 1, 2 here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up to this high, and then looking for this as a fourth wave. So this is still valid here. There is another way of counting this. We're going to go over it in a second. Effectively, if this is the case, what we're looking is for this 2247 to hold. Now this fourth wave is quite big in comparison to this wave 2 here, but it is still within that 3 times the size. And if we are looking at this moving directly up here, this would still be valid. Now, if this is the case, what we could potentially see is a fifth wave move up towards this 40 cents 39 to this 35.18. Now, if we do see a 5-wave structure up into this zone, what I will then be looking for would be the potential of seeing an additional fourth and a fifth wave here, looking to complete this as a bigger 5-wave pattern from further back. Like I said, if this is the case, we want to see this actually start to build from this point here and start to build this fifth wave from this area. Now if we are looking at this slightly different, what we could also argue here is that potentially we could be looking, because we are saying we're looking for a C wave here, we could potentially look for that possibility here that we could form this as a diagonal into here. This is a wave B and then this is a C wave. Now if this is the case, this would just be an ABC to the upside, so this could just be an A wave as well. But within this count, because we're looking for the idea of a 5-wave structure, what I'm looking out for is the potential that if we just see this as a 3-wave move down here, we could potentially see a 3-wave move up for wave 3, and then see another 3-wave move down for wave 4, and then see this final 3-wave move up for wave 5. Now, the idea here would be that this would actually then be looking to push us up into these higher areas here of this 1-to-1. So we'll have to monitor this, because we can't really pull a measurement off this wave 1. It's more accurate to wait for the first leg of this wave 3 to actually play out. Now, it is technically possible here that if this is a wave 2 in this way, that we could potentially still see some continuation to the downside here, looking to find support lower down at this 50% to the 786 level, though we have actually come down to the 0.382 already. So we need to be careful that, this could potentially look to have this move pushed to the upside from this point. But what we need to see is good 5-wave structure playing out. Now, another way we can actually look at this is that potentially this move is actually completed into this high. Now, within this idea here, what we'd be then saying is that effectively this could be our A wave. We're looking for this as a B, and then we're looking for a C. Alternatively, if we do look to push up past this 1618 level here, we could argue then that we could have this extending to the upside here as a bigger 5-wave pattern, but we'd need to see a move above this 1618 in a nice clean 5-wave move, then see a fourth wave down towards this 35.48, and then finally see this fifth wave looking to play to the upside. So these are our bullish counts within this area. Now, if we do see a bit of a deeper retracement here, potentially we could come down towards these lower ranges here. Like I said, we have come down towards this 0.382 already. So it is always possible that we could see a reversal from this point, particularly if we're looking at a wave 3. Sometimes within wave 3s, we can get very shallow retracement. So we need to just be on the lookout of this idea here. Now, within this idea, what we'd be saying is that this A wave is complete, B wave is potentially complete, and we're looking for the C wave. Now, if this B wave is not actually complete, what we could actually see is something along these lines. So I'm just going to turn this off for a second. What we could then say is that potentially into this low here, we have this is an A wave, this is a B wave, and we could still be looking for this as a bigger ABC. Now, the 0.618 of this would be here towards this 20 cent 56. Now, the thing is within this, if this is going to be a C wave, I would want to see a 5-wave structure. So the only way we can potentially count this in this way would be saying this is WX, and then we're looking at this as a Y wave to the downside, where we have this as a 3-wave. What we have to be cautious of here is that if this is A, this is B, and we see a move down to this 1618, we could actually get a 5-wave structure, which could look to push us down towards the zone of this 1889 to this 1827. Now, this would align better with this 1-to-1 over here, and could even look to, you know, push just towards this 0.854 area, which is sitting towards this 1893. So, going to be keeping an eye on this. The key thing within this count is effectively saying here, we are going to be looking for rejection within this 786 to this 382 area. So if we only see 3 waves to the upside here, we can potentially look for that continuation down. So within the bullish count, if we're looking to turn around, it's going to be important that we hold these 2 lows here, which are currently sitting at this area of this 22.35 and this 22.22. I don't really want to see us lose these levels, because if we lose these levels, this potentially means that we still have that continuation to the downside, and we could still look for that deeper retracement. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's completely bearish. All it means is that we will be looking for a deeper retracement before looking to push to the upside. Now, another way we can look at this move as a potentially completed structure here is to actually subdivide this slightly different, saying that this is a W, this is an X, this is A, B, and C. Now, if we do have this in this way, effectively what we would be then looking for is the potential for the reversal to the upside. Now, within this count, what I'm being cautious of is if this is a bigger A wave, we could then still look to find resistance up here at the 786 to this 05 area. Now, if we do see a bigger 3-wave structure to the upside and we come back up here in 3 waves, we need to be on the lookout for that idea that this move could actually see a bigger corrective structure playing out back on towards this 1953. So in the short term here, we do have this potential to see some upside, but we need to be very careful, because at the moment there is still that potential that we could still see that downside coming here, where effectively this move is a diagonal here. We could see this as 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's very choppy at the moment. We need to see more evidence that this has got a low in place here. Now, if this is looking to push away from this zone, this is how I would be looking at this structure currently. Now, we're going to come down into the 15 minutes. Now, if we're looking at this as a potential 1-2 and looking for this as another 1-2 here, the problem I have is internally here, this move is not counting very nicely. We can argue this is 1-2 here, and then effectively we are starting to extend out where this is 1-2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We get another 4th and a 5th, and then we'd be looking for that idea that this would be looking to continue to extend to the upside. Now, the problem that I have with this is ideally I'd like to see at least a move up here towards this level of this 23.95. If we see a move up towards this 23.95, then potentially this could be 1, 2, this would all become a 3rd wave, we get a 4th and a 5th, and then we'd look for that potential retracement. Now, we could also argue that potentially within here we have something like a diagonal pattern where this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because we have this overlap over here. And then this could actually just be A, B, and then we see a C wave to the downside. Now, our common target area for a C wave is between this 382 and this 50%. So if we find support here between this 2311 to this 2296, potentially we could look for that possibility that this could then become a wave 2, and then we look to push to the upside. Now, the key thing that I want to see here, if we are looking to break away, is a bigger push up towards this 2467. That would be looking at this as a potential 1 and a 2. Until we actually see this push up into this area, we need to be careful of that idea that this could just be corrective and then we still look to push down, because within this previous structure here we do have 5 wave moves. So unless we break back above these highs, we need to be on the lookout that, you know, this could look to just extend directly to the downside. So if we fail to push up from this point here, effectively what I'll be looking for is to see how we react lower down. Now, if we do look to push down directly here, it's possible that this B wave is already in place here, and what we could see is a direct push down towards this 1-to-1 at this 2052. Alternatively, what we could also get here is that if this is going to become corrective, we could see A, B, and then C, have this draw out a little bit more, and then still see this C wave come to the downside. If we are looking for that bullish potential here, we need to break back above this 25.56, and then finally above this high here of this 32.30. But breaking back above this area here will stop the idea that this could be potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Until we do that, we need to be very careful of that more bearish situation where we could see this price look to fall off directly as either a 3-wave move down towards this 2086, or alternatively this could become 1, 2, we get a 3rd wave down towards this 1913, 4th, and a 5th. Now, if we do start to see 5-wave structure developing to the downside in this way, what we got to be careful of is a move down past this 1448. If we start to move down past this 1448 level, this could actually mean that within this count, what we rather have is that this is a diagonal, this is a wave 2 here, and this becomes 3, we get 4 and 5. Now, if we do see a bigger 5-wave structure off of these highs, this would align more into the count that we previously talked about of this possibility of a flat correction here. So this is still a viable count here because of where we rejected off of. If we start to see bigger 5-wave structure developing where this becomes 1, 2, 1, 2, we get 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and we start to look to push down, we could be looking at something like a bigger flat correction here, where we could see a push down towards this 1279 to this 961 zone. So we need to be aware that this is still a potential. If it's going to be a running flat, 1527 is going to be a potential target area. Having a look at the daily CPR lines here, what we can see is that we're currently above our central lines, which is sitting at this 2306 and this 2298. If we do continue to hold above these levels, potentially we could look to move back down here, find support, and look for continuation. Targets to the upside for today would be this 2371. We'd see this 2430, 2497, and this 2559. Now, if we do see price looking to trend here, what I want to see is a break back above this R1 line and then finding support and then looking for that continuation. If, however, we just get this move up here and we start to reject, lose these central lines, I will be looking out for the potential to find support lower down here between this 2243 and this level here of this 2236. If we do manage to hold this, then potentially we could still see price continue to the upside. But if we start to lose this area here, then it becomes more likely we're going to see these targets come in towards the downside, this 2176, this 2116, and this 2047 for today. Now I'm going to switch this over onto the weekly, and we're going to have a look at these lines. Now, on the weekly CPR lines, what we can see is we've actually moved up through these, and now we've just rejected off the top of this line. If we start to break down in a bigger way, this could align with that idea of seeing continuation down. The S1 target is at this $22. If we do see price looking to push down deeper, we have this 2083 and this 1943 as potential zones we could look to interact with this week. If, however, we see price starting to break back above these CPR lines, what we can see is an interaction with our R1 line sitting at this 2455. We have this 2594 and this 2714 as possible upside targets for this week. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we react at this level. Now, if we come over here and have a look at the monthly, what we can see is that we are currently underneath our monthly CPR lines. So if we do see price looking to push back to the upside here, we need to be aware that these could be resistance between this 2510, 2463, and this 2418. This would align with the idea of seeing a bigger 3-wave move up here, where this could actually become 1, 2 or AB, and then we see that continuation down. So this is why I'm being cautious of any kind of 3-wave structure up. We need to just be aware that if we do move back up into these in 3 waves, we could then find that rejection and that continuation to the downside. If we do look to continue to the downside, monthly targets is this S1 line at the 1701. We have these lower levels here of this 1022, and all the way down here we have this 262 as a possible target for this month. Now, if however we start to see price looking to push back to the upside here and we manage to reclaim these CPR lines, what we could then see is the potential for price to move up into the R1 line, which is sitting at this 31.38. If we do manage to push up past this level, effectively we have targets past this at this 39.05 and this 45.80 as possible upside targets for this month. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on these levels to see if we get any interactions on them. We don't always have to interact with them, but what can happen is if price does look to push into these zones, we can often see price pivot, even if it is temporarily off these levels. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.